Cell service.
Oh, shoot.
You gotta hit accept. That you the host now.
Got it?
Yep. Okay, so. It didn't do nothing? Yeah, it says you the host. See, oh no, it said on TV screen anyway. Now I gotta leave. Okay, now hit the buttons,
Which buttons?
the video and the mute,
Your video,
and the mute.
his video is off. It was probably videoing already.
It was,
Yeah.
and the mute.
All right, 5:25, let's call the Drainage Committee meeting to order. Let the record reflect that all members are present. Item number 1, discuss erosion problems at 4512 Highway 1 outfall.
Yes. That's the one that I put there. That's Mr. Jesse Robinson that outfall west side. I called Mike, to talk to Mike. Mike was aware about it. Paul was aware about it. Mr. Joe was aware about it. And it's been going on for a while. Went out and looked at it, took some pictures of it, and something needs to be done. From my understanding, the police jury was the one who installed the bulkhead there years and years ago. When you look at the bulkhead, got cables that's running onto his property that's holding the bulkhead still in place. Most of them rotting out. Erosion of the property real bad. I talked to Mike. Mike thought Joe was working up a quote on it. Joe didn't know that he was supposed to be working up a quote on it. So like the ball got dropped on it. I just think that we need to get something done. It's really tearing the property up real bad. Might be aware of that.
It is, but there's also that right of way. Elm Hall alternative.
Yes, that's correct. There's the bulk, the outfall itself is I don't know exactly where the property line is, but the outfall itself belongs to Trinity, which is part of Dugan LeBlanc. I'm not sure exactly where the property boundaries are. I'm sure pretty much that the rigging that's holding the bulkhead is on Mr. Jesse's property. I had asked the engineer, he gave me a ballpark figure, that's what I have on top of the sheet, 85,000. I wanted him, he was supposed to be here to provide some plans. But that price includes the bulkhead and field material, 170 feet. It is eroding. I just don't know at what point is the jury's responsibility. It's not that the outfall itself belongs to the plantation. It belongs to Dugan LeBlanc. So
Can't say memorabilia.
So why, just a question down there, why would the jury be responsible for this?
Because years ago, the jury installed this bulkhead. And it's a really a liability. Like I say, the bulkhead is rotting out, but they got cables probably about.
It almost looks like it was never finished.
And the cables are running onto his property. Anybody walk back in the nighttime and trip over those cables? In fact, I got some pictures on there. Hey, Jamie, you can take a look at some of these pictures. I'd like to see, Paul, Mike, Joe, y'all get together and go take a look at it and come up with a plan if the jury can do anything about it. He with Mr. Jesse talk about it.
But Joseph was supposed to be working on it. We went and looked at that, what, a year and a half ago?
yes, we looked at that over a year ago. Joseph was. Yes.
So in a couple of more years, it ought to get done.
If. Question for Mr. Calabro on this. Being that we got any documentation that said the police jury installed this bulkhead years ago?
That would be my question. Because we would need a clear documentation that we were involved in this project in order to even step foot on the property. And then presumptively, and Paul and I talked about this briefly in terms of public purpose, I would need to be provided something just to review to see exactly what was done in the past and what we're looking to do.
Mr. Jesse, he has the documentation with the grant that was done under Marty as police jury for Ward 5. I get him to bring it to the jury
Okay.
and put it on file, so.
Just to keep doing what you're doing, if Joe, the parish engineer, is putting together some documentation, if Mr. Robertson gets us those materials, we can kind of look at it all together and then put it back on in the future.
Table it till next meeting?
Yeah.
All right, item number 1 is table. Item number 2, request the approval for a culvert replacement next to Elizabeth Church, St. Elizabeth Church, Ward 6.
Correct. This is, I got with Chris on this. This is the entrances to the St. Elizabeth gym. They're caved in and they need to be replaced.
All right, we have a total cost of $1,530. Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, request approval for an outfall at the end of Kiosk Street, Ward 8.
This is a project that me, Mr. Palmer, when we look at it, it's a viable project. The water's being held up in the back of these residences. It has no outlet to get to the pumps on Oak Street. And if we shot the elevation, it would work. This water would be pulled from behind these residents to get this water to the pumps on Giot Street. The water's being held up behind these houses, and every now and then when you get a heavy rain, it threatens the houses. So it's a viable project.
Total cost of $5,630.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Carter, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, request approval to repair the leak to the levee on U Street.
This is a leak that's in the levee. It's we want to go in and just cut a keyway in the middle of the levee and stop the water has a conduit to go across. We need to stop that. It's a viable project. The pumps are having to run because the water keeps coming back into the drainage district.
Total cost of $400.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Blanchard, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, request approval for catch basin installation at 3705 Highway 70 Ward.
Motion that item's gonna be tabled.
Item number 6, request approval for catch basin installation at the corner of Berta and Wade Street.
Okay, so I know 5 is a table on.
Yes,
Correct. Request approval for catch basin at Bird and Wade. You look at the picture, it's the buses and all the larger vehicles having trouble traversing that intersection. This provide a larger turning lane for the larger equipment, larger trucks and school buses. It's a safety issue.
Total cost of $1,100. Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Oh, how are we coming along with the catch basins installations?
Slow. I was explaining to Mr. Mathern right now, we have some issues with employees on a daily basis, and I'm having to fluctuate, move around employees, so it's a slow process, Jamie. I did receive some information from Mr. Mathern about a private vendor and I'm gonna contact him, and we may be getting that contractually done to assist us with some of
Unit
this.
across the road, he does a good job, man, and he's got
We discussed
license,
that a while ago.
license and all, so.
Item number 7, discuss repairs to drainage pumps purchased with hazard mitigation funds.
How y'all doing? I'll put this on here. Previously, we had some conversations about these pumps that were purchased. There was 22 of them. And they came out of Florida and we were having continuous problems with them. They had some companies come in and they talked about some repairs to these pumps. And the figures were around, if I'm not mistaken, about $90,000 to pull the pumps and repair them. Right now, out of 22, probably better than 14 of them have major issues. They're leaking all over the place, the shaft seals, they damaged the gearboxes on the top half from misalignments. We pulled a few and realigned them, but I'd like to see if we revisit that and maybe try to get some more pricing on repairing all 22 of them. Or do we visit, maybe purchase some pumps to put in their place because, and maybe try to sell them or auction them off. But I know that we're gonna have continuous problems with them. That they're way out of alignment and they need some attention. In Mr. Irvin's areas and Pierreport and the other ones in Lower Texas and wherever we have these pumps, we're having a continuous problem with.
What size pumps are they?
It varies from 8-inch all the way to 16, and we have some 20s and 24s. But we have water coming out of the top of them, they're rusting.
Leaking gearbox.
And when they're in a misalignment, it tears up the gearbox on the top half. We've already repaired 2 of them. And they're leaking again. We're just having multiple issues with them. So I would recommend we pull them a few at a time and repair them as we can. Associated pumps were the first ones that came in, and I think the number was at like 90,000 to go through them and repair them, and that number may have changed.
These are pumps that, we had problem with and the company bankrupt.
Yes,
That is correct. Yes, sir.
2006.
Didn't we discuss doing
We funded it.
It's funded right now.
But there was no, we looked for it. We couldn't find it. But it was,
And that's what, it just wasn't recorded in the minutes. We had funded that out of general drainage.
yes,
to
we
repair
revisited,
them.
we couldn't find it.
To repair not all 22, but I believe it was 6 that was out of service at that time.
so we need to start repairing them.
Yes.
Or buying new ones, whatever we want
Right.
to do.
but it's gonna be a substantial amount of money. So either we replace them,
As a group.
I can get an estimate on it, and if it exceeds half of the cost of a new pump, then I would recommend purchasing one.
Well, we'll go as it is, and whenever something breaks,
So-
then.
A bunch of them broke.
I mean, I know you have a task right now to meet with Joseph to identify these pumps. Until that's done,
And I've met with him several times on it previously, and actually said, this is the location, these pumps are damaged. And we were supposed to revisit these people. People were supposed to come down from Florida, then we found out they were bought.
I'm
and
not
sold.
talking about that. I'm talking about, so under the Gomesa non-bond funds, we have 7 pumps and 1 natural gas engine that was approved
Oh,
in
yeah,
February
right.
of
He's still-
22.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking,
What I'm asking is to please identify what these pumps are and what other pumps are included in the other allocations that were done for
okay,
the parish-wide pumps and drainage.
right.
Because I believe that we're funding the same project more than once.
No, those 7 pumps weren't for that.
So I'm asking, prove it. We need some documentation to show what's been allocated and what's not.
Yeah, I told you exactly where the previous pump was going, and it was not at a location where these are.
I remember when these 7 pumps were approved, you had a printout that.
That is
showed
correct. I handed it out. It
specifically.
specifically
Yeah, I
said
could
where it
pull
was
back
going
that
to go
223 meeting.
and
and
what
pull
their
that
purpose
out.
was.
But I
We
don't
just
know
need a
if they were
refresher.
repetitive to these
No,
natural gas ones.
But, so I know for included in that was a Ruta Cajun pump, but you had an engine that was gonna be donated from another drainage
Right.
district and,
but the pumps that are ordered are 12-foot pumps. That was not ordered for Ruta Cajun. No, sir. That wasn't in the original. We can look it up. We'll get it. I'll come back,
Almost
I'll revisit it. I'll bring a
certainly
list.
Was in there because that pump was out. at the
No,
time.
the
It's
pump
still
in
out.
place. It needed to be repaired.
no, we were gonna put a 12-inch pump and use the engine from Don Bro's
One of the other locations.
area.
Yes, but we were gonna make a repair.
Pull the minutes from the meeting and we'll revisit it.
So I think we need to move forward with repairing it because there are multiple ones that are broke. See what the cost is. And if we get cost allocation to it, and I'll revisit it the next time and say, okay, guys, look, this is what we're looking at. This is where we at with the cost.
We had that for next meeting?
Yep,
Can't be broken.
no, so we'll revisit it.
Motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Blanchard, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
We'll start 4:35 Finance Committee meeting. The record reflect all members were present except for Mr. Johnson. Approve to pay bills submitted through February 3rd, 2023.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Nakane. Second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Motion carried. Request approval to allow accountant to work overtime, over allowed K-time limit to get prepared for a 2022 audit and authorized payment.
Yes, we did visit this last year, and we did have this proposal, but the proposal last year was once the audit was prepared for, that K-time that was in excess of the leave amount would be taken. And it was, so there was no payment that had to be made. However, with requiring that time to be taken, then the backlog exists again. So now we have to get ready for the new audit. So we're faced with the same situation. So I'm asking this time to have the K-time allowed only for audit preparation work, and then for that excess at the end of that period to be compensated and not taken off.
And the accountant is okay with that?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Mathern. Second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor? Motion carried. Discuss Gomesa funding. First item is discuss the purchase of a drainage pump for Ward 3 with Gomesa funds.
So I provide you guys, you gentlemen, ladies, with 2 cost estimates. This is Mr. Irvin's ward, Muir Street and Lane Street. And due to the substantial cost of the pumps being deteriorated and exceeding the value of what they're worth, I had them sandblasted. I did everything I could to make sure that they were no longer usable. I sent the motors to MC Electric and they were shorted. So my recommendation is that we actually purchase 2 pumps off the bid and 2 panels because they're severely deteriorated due to age. These pumps are better than 20 years old. And a new motor for each one and do an installation. The total cost would be $47,312. I figured it may be having the capacity to come out of our GOMESA funds, but that's up to you, John.
I think it's possible. I just think we need to clarify what's in the scope of the current GOMESA projects that have already been allocated.
Okay. But
I don't have a problem adding these to it or including them in there. They might be included in the number that we already have. I don't know.
no, these were visited by us. They actually pulled them. I picked them up, I brought them to a yard, had them blasted so I could see the damages. And it was severe.
One of them's been down for what? A year?
Almost a year. And we had no funds to replace it at that time. So we finally got them out, had it sandblasted, and we could really see the damages at that time. I even asked the representative to come out from their district so I could show him the damages. And he agreed that they were non-repairable.
Drainage district. Do they have any fund?
They probably could put a little bit of, you know, I don't know how much. Their funds is pretty well limited to operating, the utility bills, you know, maintenance.
But we did authorize under the 1.5 for Mesa for you to have 2 pumps.
That's two other pumps.
So you need 2 more pumps.
Correct.
These are 2 bad pumps. The
Oh,
other two
okay,
is
all right, I
2
got you.
These are
pumps
pull out.
going into an area.
I got you.
Yeah,
The original 2 was Country Village and Pond Drive to replace 2 pumps.
yeah.
And this is 2 additional ones.
These pumps is probably closer to 30 years old.
Yeah, I knew.
We
they
got
were-
these when we first started the drainage.
The clearance is like on the impellers themselves is like 4,000. These were at 10 and 12.
Well, let's
So-
see what like they want to say what it gonna make it, you know,
I don't. I just
well, it goes.
bring it to light, make a recommendation. And
And so the reason why I'm questioning it right now is I know we came up with 1.5 million total in projects. And only 3 projects made the allocation list from that meeting. We have over 900,000 that did not make it in here. And I know we have those projects,
What projects made that list, you know?
7 pumps and 1 natural gas engine,
Right.
Bertrandville Canal outfall clearing, Belrose Lane Canal drainage improvements. And I would just like us to get a handle on these allocations before so we know how much money we really have left over to add to these other, to add to other pumps. I don't have a problem adding the pumps to it, and I think we can make room in here. I just want to make sure we're not leaving anything out. I know, for example, the Joe Lamar Michael Street drainage project was one of those projects, and it's not on the list.
So the question is, what do we have left at the Mesa?
We don't know.
The only thing I got from the Gomez
Was
funds
those
was
pumps?
Those two
Pump,
pumps.
pump.
That was it,
Yeah,
two
that was all
pumps.
you got.
what, 90,000 or something like that? That's the only thing I got from Gomez.
More so we can find.
I agree.
somebody
The
else.
problem is we just don't know how much. we
Yeah, I
have extra
understand
to
that, I
allocate.
understand that.
Okay. That one's fine. There's pump. Country Village. On Drive, Lower Texas, Oak Lane, and Root Cajun.
So the natural gas engine that was in there was for the Rudy Cajun. pumpers.
You had natural gas and then Myron wanted one also for diesel for across the road.
What was that?
But we only spent 160 some thousand out of it. We still have pretty good chunk here, but I wasn't gonna purchase the engines until we had sufficient pumps to put in place.
I need to work out over subdivision.
Was I guess what Leroy is asking,
Yes, we funded the engine, but we didn't fund the pump. Is that correct?
For Rudy Cajun,
Right.
the engine was provided by a different drainage district. You have that engine, correct?
Yes, it's in our shop.
All you have written on this paper is new gas engine.
Correct.
It doesn't say anything about pump.
Yes.
These other ones have a breakdown.
Because we did not have, we hadn't approved that yet.
What about the pump that's at the barn?
You can approve this.
Is that good?
That we working on. We're repairing as much as we can.
I thought that pump in front over his other was already approved.
We have the pump, but you don't have the permits and to put it in place.
You have the pump.
We have the pump. But there's no need to buy an engine because the warranty is gonna go out before we install it.
So how many pumps we have in Rudy Cajun right now?
One. We have two, and one is a Florida pump and it's broke. One's an 8-inch and one's a 10-inch.
I mean, the pump gonna be the same way the engine be. It's sitting back there not being used.
But we also talked about moving that pumping station. So it would take a longer and larger pump. That's when the variable change.
I just know I need my pump.
Don't sound like your pump was approved with these other pumps.
Yes,
You
it
see
was.
my pump's already.
This pump is in the
This
shop.
pump was
It's in
included
there?
in there.
The engine,
Yeah, 50,000 approved for vertical.
that's correct.
Well, you-
The pump there, the engine's not, because I'm not gonna purchase it until we build a deck and can put a tank. We're gonna lose warranty before it's even installed.
That's all because of permit.
What we're saying.
Correct.
Joseph Southwick. I work on permits.
You saying y'all didn't spend this much? You didn't spend the 243, but you
Not
purchased
completely.
those?
Not yet. The engines haven't been purchased.
See them purchase the engine to go to the pump.
But I mean, the allocation is there for it, except
Correct.
for Ruda Cajun,
Right,
no engine, no
no
pump.
pump. Because we were talked about moving them, which would extend the length of the pump if we put it to levy elevation.
Question is, do we have 47,312?
You got 434,000. If you look at your spreadsheet,
Yeah.
that's 434,000. As approved thus far. Some of these projects might not get done. Some of these might have match elsewhere. That's what Leroy wanted to look at. But the balance of the non-bond issue is 434,000. The balance of the bond issue is 625,000.
We have 437,000 left, non-bond money. I'll
Non-bond
make a
money.
motion to approve the 47,312 out of non-bond money for Ward 3 project.
Got a motion by Mr. Nakane,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Como. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Get these pumps ordered, Don.
And M&L, right?
Yep.
Good.
So, and everything's on bid. Everything we have is on bid. Already called about it.
So we can, Mr. Urban, have them installed.
Are low lift pumps the only pumps out there that's available?
They're on our bid.
I know they're on our bid, but
Quality pumps are not available. They went out of business.
are there any other kind of pumps?
Oh, you got Creel and you got all the stuff, but we have to go off of the bid price.
I know, but when we bid out, maybe we should bid.
We do. We
All
offer
we
it to
do is
everybody.
bid low lift pumps.
No, sir, we offer it to everybody.
For all of them now, it used to be just low
No,
lift.
it says low lift, but that's just a type of pump. So it goes out, it goes on the
Low
internet.
lift is the name of the company.
It goes out to everybody. It goes out for bid on the internet. And then multiple vendors can bid on
How the bid goes out.
it. They submit it via internet. It's on our website,
I
actually.
know, but what I'm saying is, we bid out this is about 25, 30 years ago, we bid out low lift pumps. Quality bid came in and we accepted Quality's bid. We found out that low lift is the company. So no one else was supposed to bid but low lift. Low lift out of Welsh and then low lift M&L. They bid, which the one in Welsh makes the pump for M&L.
Yeah, no, it's not like that, Mr. Irvin. Actually, last year we had to buy them out of Florida because they underbid M&L. So it's not like that. Multiple vendors can bid on.
can't, it's not just one, you can't just say M&L specific.
No.
You have to.
You can't say just low lift.
That's correct, low left,
That's
that's what I
correct.
meant by that, that's.
You're
low
looking
left
for a
specific.
12-inch
That's correct.
Correct.
pump or something. Okay, all right.
All right, so motion carried for item A. Item 3B, discuss the purchase of a dozer with Gomesa funds.
That was on the last agenda. We just brought it back because you guys want to see. The, like I said before, they gave us a retention price or a value of $5,000, and we agreed that we're gonna bring it back to our facility and use it until. But the actual price of a new dozer with air cab was $131,891.50. I provided that for you guys.
What is it without air care?
104,086. That's not what this one is?
No.
No.
But we agreed the last one that, I don't know if you did, Ms. Carter, that when we're working in different environments in the woods, or it's actually a hazard to not have air cab because the employees are exposed to ground hornets and different variables that could severely injure them. So I think an air cab would be our best avenue. How you feel, Mr. LeBlanc?
I agree with that statement. I mean, you might be talking 15, 20,000 in difference in price.
Yeah.
I mean, ground hornets, the heat, that type of stuff.
It's definitely worth
Yes.
spending extra money.
Please, need a motion to go. I entertain a motion to purchase the
Gotta
air
designate
cab
the fund.
dozer,
Make where?
non-bond Gomesa funds.
Yeah, do it. Second.
Yeah.
Motion by Myron, second by me.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Nakane, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 3C, discuss the purchase of an excavator with Gomesa funds.
So originally we had spoken, maybe me and Mr. LeBlanc spoke possibly getting a smaller excavator, but after we talked, he said, I think that him and I both agree that a 75 or an 80, which is 75 is readily available in April, would be our better buy because it benefits us in more ways than one. And I did some maintenance numbers, and on our 08 unit, the maintenance cost is exceeding the value of the equipment. So it's getting quite drastic.
Yeah, we have a 08 and a 1380 series machines that we spending money on maintenance.
you need-
We got
yeah.
off, we need to replace them with a.
We just need to upgrade and use those machines that I know for something too. I mean,
Instead of
smaller
keep spending
machine.
money on them, let's get rid of them.
That's correct.
Are these
That's
on
right.
bid or?
We didn't put them in.
On state
These are all on
bid?
state
Yeah,
bid.
it's all state
Yeah, this
bid.
equipment's on state
Correct.
bid.
I entertain a motion on the floor.
What about the, a larger excavator to do some of these projects that we've been doing? Is the 145, and we have big enough, or do we need to go up to a bigger machine?
145 is the biggest we can transport with our trucks. If we purchased a larger machine, we'd have to rely on somebody to move it, or we'd have to purchase equipment to move it ourselves, larger equipment to move it ourselves.
Probably better on rent.
145 is a good machine. We can always rent, larger when we need.
So I visited and I talked with a couple of rental companies. And I'd like to give you guys and Paul, and we talked about looking at these bit larger outfall projects and stuff. And you were talking $60,000 for an entire year to rent that machine. And if you got enough projects, you can kind of diversify and split it up a little bit. And they maintain the maintenance at no maintenance cost to us. They take care of the unit. If it breaks, we swap it out. I think that's the more feasible
They'll move it,
avenue.
demove it. They move it.
They'll bring it, move it for us, bring it back, wherever we gotta go.
So we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Alcorn to purchase with
Non-bond.
non-bond Gomesa funds.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
I got one thing to ask on that, Paul. Y'all please take care of this equipment. You and Ron.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm building a profile.
We're working on that right now,
You
Jim.
won't
We
have this
discussed that.
chance to buy equipment again.
Look, I'm
We
building a
discussed that
profile.
this morning about programs and sheet, benchmarks and to get it maintenance, everything maintenance.
Once I finish the spreadsheet and got everything together, I'll email it to you guys. It's just gonna take us some time to build it.
All right, 3D, request approval to modify allocations regarding Gomesa funds.
Thank you.
We really can't move on that one until we get the answer back on these other projects for the 1.5 that we'll put in. So I know Savoy Engineering has these projects in their list that they sent us, but we didn't have estimates in that so that we could match up these numbers to know where they came from.
I know Virgin Bay is off a bid right now, the canal is off a bid.
Right. So at the next meeting, I'll commit to having a better handle on what we're missing in these numbers. I just need to get with a blanket ship and Mr. Savoy together to get some answers.
Is Mr. Savoy attending tonight?
We hadn't heard other ones.
So, so Mr. Chair, that's for the non-bond and also the construction. You want to get a handle on the numbers and see where you're at for both, or just the 1.5?
That's correct. So on the ones, all right, so we had the 500,000 allocation that came from capital outlay that was increased to 667. The match funds for that was provided through Gomez. All right, and then we had in a separate project allocated a 1.7 million for a ring levy system plus Ward 789. In the original allocation notes that I had, we had wards 4, 7, 8, and 9 included in that. But some of that work has already been done in the parish. And that's what I had requested, was let us know what scope, what has to come out of the scope of these projects. So Mr. Pineville provided to me what he had for Ward 7, 8, 9 to know what's remaining in that. But we have to separate these projects so that we can go out for RFQ with them, because they're all combined in a single project. But we don't have a good estimate to split them up now. Basically, we have to see what these project estimates are. So there was, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was allocated, but the bookkeeping side of it wasn't as clean as, I mean, and we've funded multiple projects from multiple sources. You know, so
We need a running tally.
yes.
Yeah.
This
That's
is a
right.
running tally. This is what I was provided. There's no other tally to be sought at. You know, this is approvals. I have resolutions for these projects and approvals. If
And what
something
is,
is missing, then it needs to be discussed at this meeting. I don't, you know.
Right, and that's why we need to clean
what
it
is
up.
the remaining balance of the non-bond fund?
The non-bond, 151,555. Now, going back to the construction funds, if you all make that motion right now, we can remove this waterway debris removal project for 550,000 because you're pulling that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
yeah.
can take that off the
Yeah,
list.
and matter of fact, come on, you can use that, use some of that allocation for your pumps.
Well, that's
It's already
different.
funded.
You want, okay.
It's different.
Uh,
Any others that need to be removed?
We need to make a motion to remove that?
Yes.
Yes.
Need someone on the committee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
You got a motion by Mr. Nakane, seconded by Mr. Alcorn, that will remove waterway debris removal project from the bond issue Gomesa fund. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
And if you, I don't know if y'all looking at the current list that y'all provided, that we did have some allocations, if you look at the bottom, that we added back in because those matches were funded through some other means and whatnot. That's the 325 and the 62.8. So that does increase that 237 to 625. But again, a lot of this, it happens once we get the paperwork. And we see how the funding source is. And I know y'all don't want to hear this, but we got 1.5 years left to spend this money.
We're gonna spend
We hadn't spent anything yet in 1.5 years.
It's being
Yes.
spent as we speak. All right,
Next item, to authorize the president to sign the purchase agreement with Arthur Equipment Corporation for the purchase of land adjacent to Myray Park in Ward 4.
we good, Mr. Calabro?
Yes, this is just for the purchase agreement to purchase on or before with the bill of sale, April the 1st. So I see no issues to move forward with that.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakane,
Second.
second by Mr. Como. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for OSEP director to attend the APCO NENA 911 conference in Marksville, April 17th to 19th, 23. Total cost $800.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, Second. Second by Mr. Nakam, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Request approval for OSEP staff, 3 persons to attend the Louisiana Emergency Management Conference, LEMC, in Lake Charles, May 8th through 11th. 23, total cost of $800 per person.
I was just wondering who's 3? Who's the 3?
I said 3, but I mean, normally it's 2, to be honest with you, so. You and I'm part of that board.
Yeah, but you
They
don't
ain't
have to
come-
go, John.
Well, Ann hadn't come in the past because of the way the office was running, so I just put 3 in the event that she did, so.
You going, Jeff? So make you 3. That's your 3. Oh, is Ann going? You know if she would
I
go?
don't know for sure, but like I said, I put it, we can always cut it to 2, it's not a problem.
Oh,
me as tentative, I will play by you. Motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Alcorn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to accept highest salvage bid for old unusable vehicles and equipment.
For y'all, gentlemen, that's the 2 items that were not, that were bidded, that were low bidded when the original process, when we had the first values on them. So we had to go back and get a salvage value. And the one vendor that came in and bidded, he bidded above those salvage values. So I recommend that he bid at JJ Merchant. He's got
Motion
it.
approves the 2004 150 for $927.27 and the 92 grade all excavated for $2277.77.
That's correct.
Motion by Mr. Nakam. Second by Mr. Como, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss settlement regarding drainage project. This item, no action taken.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Nakam.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mathern. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
5:03, let's get the personnel committee meeting started. All members are present. Number 1, discuss matter raised processes. Paul Layback.
Dave, I requested the table this item.
Adjourned.
Motion adjourned by Mr. Blanchard. Second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
It's a 15-year plan. You all authorized it 7 years back for Aaron and Deletion. There is no idea.
Waiting on plan.
All of my money. That's all the money. American so we're not supposed to be for sewer.
Roll, Ron.
5:05, we'll go ahead and get started with the roads and bridge meeting. Let the record reflect that all members are present, except for Mr. Johnson. Only one item on the agenda, request additional speed bump and approval of a variance on the 250-foot minimum installation distance from a street intersection and existing traffic control device for Genevieve Street, Ward 7.
Okay, so I just had the procedures and the application included in your packet for review, and it's highlighted where it says that basically it's supposed to be 250 feet from a existing device, which would be the speed bump or the intersection. And so this constituent is asking for another speed bump down Genevieve Street to be placed within the 250 feet, about 150 feet from the intersection, and less than 250 feet from the next speed bump, about 180 feet, because she says that they picking up speed before they get to her.
Okay, so just one person excavated down the street?
Well, we asked other constituents down the street if they was okay with it. And they were okay.
And it
Shouldn't
definitely-
shouldn't have
it's high.
signed a document like,
Just the original document is what we,
yeah, I'm saying, but they won't go against the policy and procedure. I think
Well, that's why I'm-
y'all ought to get signatures all over again. Statement.
Right, yeah, we had discussed that, getting the 2/3 signatures again.
we did, but
You get it?
no, I didn't.
You asked for it?
I did not.
If
Well,
you,
we'll table this till the next meeting. Just go ahead and get get the 2/3 signatures, requesting that extra
From
additional speed
everyone on the
bump,
street again?
everybody on the street,
Okay.
and then we'll proceed further. Motion to adjourn. Got a motion by Mr. Diaz. Second by Mr. Ponder, all in favor? All opposed, motion, leaving over.
If we are called up solid waste committee meeting order, that reflect all members are present except Mr. Johnson. First item on the agenda is discuss annual CPI rate adjustment with Waste Depot. 13 cents per household.
Right, if you look in your package, you'll see the letter that they sent along with the detail from the Department of Labor and the statistics regarding that increase.
It's all legit. All part of the contract. That and also with number 2, the fuel charge adjustment Waste Depot 0.33 cents.
If you look on the continued passing through, you see that letter. That's a separate letter that they sent requesting that.
Now that 33 cents was triggered.
It's a trigger and when it reaches a certain threshold, that's when they can charge it and then it should drop off.
So it drops off if it goes
Right.
back down.
Correct. It's not, it's not to stay there
Yeah.
indefinitely.
Okay.
But they can't charge a 33 cent per mile rate on this. This is regulated by the Public Service Commission. It's a percentage they get charged. A fuel surcharge cannot be charged by the mile.
mile.
Federal government got it 60 cents a mile just on regular vehicles. 60 or 70 cents.
So our contract specifies what it's based on.
I don't know about the Public Service Commission. I thought it was always the Department of Energy that controls this.
So at the end of the day, from 290 to
303 is the CPI.
just the CPI.
That's going to stay in place. That won't go away.
So that's-
Fuel is a separate matter.
So that's 13 cents.
Correct.
13 cents.
Per household.
13
household,
cents
per month, yeah.
per month, 13 cents per household per month.
Mhm.
And it equates to 14,845 annually.
Correct.
All right, so I'll take that one first. So that's the CPI rate. It's all part of the contract. They got the right to charge it, and we have to pay it. That's on the CPI. Get a motion to approve that.
So move.
Moved by Mr. Blanchard,
Second.
second by Mr. Diaz, all in favor? Opposed, motion carries. Second item, discuss fuel surcharge adjustment with Waste Depot.
Y'all want me to make some phone calls to inquire about this? I can.
Most definitely. I just send you the rate sheet.
It's been a while
To
since,
be
I mean,
charged.
since,
Yeah.
it been years, so
Since we had one.
Yeah.
It was probably around 2016 when we had a few surge,
at least, yeah.
if not 2013. I looked at it.
So motion, table number 2, the Secretary Treasurer, do a little investigating on that.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Carter, second by Mr. Blanchard. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned.
Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Carter, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Let's go ahead and get started with the engineering grants committee meeting. All members are present. First item is update from the grants coordinator.
Hello, good afternoon, members of the police jury. I'm happy to inform you that we have been awarded the Keep Louisiana Beautiful Trash Receptacle Grant for Gilbert to Patty Park. We will be receiving 10 trash receptacles and plaques for this park. In addition to the installation process for our energy assistance grant, will start in the following next 2 weeks. This is being carried out by Energy Solutions. This is providing us with new LED lights and fixtures for both the Public Works Building and the LSU Ag Center. Moreover, I've been working on a running grants list. Mr. Tommy, can you take 3 pages and pass it on, please? This list is separated in 3 different categories. One category is grants already awarded that we have currently, grants that we're applying for and they're being reviewed for, also grants I'm in the process of applying for currently. And under each category, you'll find the grants budget, the match, the source, and an updated status. The status is something that I'm working on for each grant and what I need to be working on in the future as well, and what I'm waiting for.
Have the other grant, what, shall we start?
Each might be under the ones I'm gonna be applying for, or the ones I'm waiting for review.
Just for the record, you and I spoke about getting some language, some written language is where we can apply various grants and match them together.
Yes, sir.
Please follow up on that information so we can have that part of the records in writing. Second of all, for the Keep Louisiana Beautiful grant, thanks for preparing that. I ask that you coordinate with Mr. Paul LeBlanc and his staff. Those receptacles will come on probably an 18-wheeler and may have to get taken off with a forklift and see if we can have their assistance to assemble those.
Yes,
I
sir.
think they should be in around mid-March, something like that.
Mr. Alcorn, Leonard did reach out to me in reference to that.
Thank you.
And Ron, just so you know, we had some phone calls from the public about not trash receptacles per se, but we asked Leonard to be in contact with Keep Assumption Beautiful, just to see if there were maybe something out there for dumpsters.
For dumpsters.
Just bigger locations, Taco Bell could be one. We've had some inquiries regarding Bayou Lewis and things like that. So we just thought we'd get him to ask and see if it would be something maybe bigger than just a trash can receptacle.
I happened to be on the call with them yesterday, and we were one of the recipients out of 98, 97 other municipalities throughout the state of Louisiana. So look like Keep Assumption Beautiful, Keep Louisiana Beautiful is a big target throughout the state. And they got a good plan in place on how they drive it to try to get other municipalities to participate. And they want to continue to get more funding to continue to help other municipalities as pertains to keeping the state beautiful. So there's going to be more opportunity out there for that.
And if I can say, Leonard and I have been working on trying to get this list so he can stay on target of what he's supposed to be doing, but you all can also be on target. So I ask you to please look at these lists, and if something does not seem right, please reach out to him, because he's trying to come up with the correct matches and locations, and we need to all work together to make sure we're getting the accurate information. Okay.
Right, just like what Ms. Kemp said, it's gonna be a running list. I'm continuously updated and present it to you all and make sure everything looks right and we have the correct matches so we can move forward with these grant applications.
And one last thing, one thing you should add to your report. Each application has a due date. You should have those due dates on there too as well.
Look under status, he does.
Under the,
Status for the forward.
under the grants I'm
We
working
don't have
on,
that sheet.
Oh,
There's 3 sheets.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
we all lost. it.
yeah.
I take 3 and pass them
I'm trying to
on.
look at his sheet, he's trying to look at mine.
Martin wasn't paying attention.
No, man. I can't figure it out.
Missing the one on top.
Yeah, we
So
missed
he
it.
was looking at some stuff. I
That's
don't
why
get it.
Myron said he didn't see Shelby Road.
I didn't see that.
3 pages.
All right,
Thanks.
now we get there.
But I think there may be a 4th category that you need to add, and that's grants that are available for us to apply to. You know, I know there are other grant opportunities. I know I emailed you about some, you know, to see if there's projects that we have that could fall under those grant programs.
They're not on here, Leroy?
No. It was through FEMA for, I think it wasn't hazard mitigation, it was. Anyway, it was a particular grant. The deadline for that one was November of this past year. But we need to be ready for that one whenever it opens next round to apply for that one.
Yes, sir, I can add that.
So any other grants that we hear about or whatever, that we get these emails about, we can send it to them so you can add it on there and we know when the application window opens.
And the only thing I want to add to this, and maybe y'all can help fill in the blanks, because Leonard didn't know. If you look at the grants in review stage, so this looks like applications that have already been submitted, and there's budget amounts for the cost estimates, and there's matches. We need to identify a source for the match. We should never apply for a grant without knowing where the matching funds should come from. So we need to have those blanks filled.
So is there sufficient funds in the building fund for the public works office building match? The 300,000 match?
If I had to guess right offhand, I would say no, because the community center is not self-supporting. But I can check the numbers.
The community center goes as part of the building fund,
Right,
correct?
but it's not self-supportive, so the tax money is supporting that. So you're asking if we have 300,000 surplus, I don't know that right offhand.
And the 100,000, the gap, that is no match, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think you let Brian know that, that's ready to go. I mean, those, as far as the courthouse repairs, that's.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I appreciate your assistance and help. Thank you.
Next item is update on drainage master plan and flood mitigation project, GIS engineering.
Good afternoon, Drew. The master plan is in its final stages. We're still getting information from the modeler. But we had a couple of different internal reviews and comments and remarks. We do have one more iteration to go through, but we will be presenting that next month. So I know it's a long time coming. Even though it's not final, we do have all those projects prioritized. We are looking at the LWI application round 2 that's coming. It's gonna be opening soon, so I'll be in touch with you, Mr. Leonard. They also have an update on the Constant Canal project, DSP, which is a design program, assistance program. They said everything's in good shape. The scope was accepted. They're reviewing our cost estimate for reasonability or whatever word that is, something like that. But I feel like it's in good shape. They have to present it to OCD. OCD is going to review all of them and get back and write up the CEA between the parish and OCD themselves for the project. I asked for a time frame, and he's guessing at mid-March. So at this time, the CEA would come back, because I asked if we needed to put anything on the agenda for a resolution or for a motion for approval or anything in that fashion right now. So nothing yet. Mid-March, we're looking at. Also, I like to see that list of terminating. We may have some other things on that we can add.
Just confirm that LWI project does not require a match.
That's correct. Capital outlay, the 2 additional Dupree Park and the Shell Beach was contested that session,
No,
and it went through.
yeah, we know.
Everything's in.
Yeah, we don't.
All right, just wanted to give y'all an update. So
Appreciate it.
all of them are in.
Thank you.
What does that mean? It was contested, but it went through?
There was a representative.
One of the
that-
representatives
Oh,
protested
kick it out.
against it.
Did-
Yeah, it went
Yeah,
through.
yeah, it went through.
Yes.
Questions?
That's it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next item is approved resolution approving and authorizing the president to sign the RFPs for the authorized signature form for the community water enrichment fund and the local government assistance program, and authorize and approve Kim Torres to certify the signature.
Move.
Moved by Jeff. Second by Michael, all in favor? Opposed? Next item, approving and authorize the police jury president to sign the 21-22 gap contract for the courthouse renovations project in the amount of $100,000. Motion by Jamie,
Second.
second by Jeff, all in favor? Opposed? Discuss and approve the CEA with Department of Children and Family Services and the rental rate agreements relative to the special needs shelter at the Assumption Parish Community Center.
This was brought up a couple of months ago, and there was some items of concern with the original CEA to the point of, when we talked about workers' compensation insurance, we had them, add a statement that all vendors or all agencies and vendors are required to have workers' compensation insurance through their agency company for the duration of the contract, which they made that change. And the last item of concern we had was in addendum 2, they had some blanks in there as far as we're quoting the rates of employees, what they responded to assist them at the shelter. We had them understand that there would be no employees physically there, they'd be on an on-call basis. And that we quoted the Assumption Parish Policy Manual as far as they would be paid time and a half or a minimum call out of 30 minutes, what's actually in our manual. And it would be based on their current salary, whoever got called out. So they made those appropriate changes.
That's all good. We talked about that. Just a question for this board. What about if we have to cancel events? Are we gonna just,
We have to
Well, we
cancel.
did that last.
well, I'm just saying, are we gonna,
I mean, that's not really part of this. That's something we need to discuss.
yeah, that's
Correct.
just, if we want to have something in here, they're gonna be responsible for, or not. We just cancel all events, we return all the money and we just let it go. Just food for thought, just throwing it out there.
Well, maybe we'll be under it.
We may not be under a state of emergency. They may be under a state of emergency. We may be operating as normal. But yet they come in and they say, well, we need this facility for 3 weeks. We got to cancel everything. We lost all that revenue.
I know there's 2 special medical needs shelters within the region. One at Nickel State, and this is the second. I think they're planning on using this as a backup.
We have to.
I'm just putting it out there. and
I know
asking.
you're putting it
I
out
want it to
there,
be
but
discussed beforehand.
that was built with federal money and the guidelines, used as a special needs shelter.
For us,
I'm not saying to
Assumption
deny
Parish.
it at all. I'm saying, would there be any accommodation or anything for that?
Let's think about it. You're not the rush, you're not the rush in nothing tonight.
Yeah.
Just table it till the next meeting. Let's think about it.
Well, cross that bridge later, but I don't want to keep that.
And then we need to put something in the contract for the renters to know that if something's happening, that's for terrible, right? And they were,
It could be any
Region.
okay, so
not
if something
necessarily
happened in a
town.
region and they need the facility, it's subject to be canceled to the event. We need to
Yeah,
let
I
them
think
know.
that, I
That's
think
a
that
good
would be
idea.
the way to
Good
go.
We need to add that language to the contract.
Just
So
add
what are
it,
we
yeah.
adding? I'm sorry.
We need
It
that.
added to our APCC contract.
To our rental
To our
agreement.
rental contract.
To your rental contract, not necessarily to this contract.
No, that's,
Right.
we're good with this.
So are we tabling this? Are we signing this?
So
Or
we're good with that.
I get, in section 2.1B, my contact information. I don't know if somebody's gonna get me if they call that number. I don't know what the number is.
So we're gonna approve this one here, and then we'll have to discuss the other one for the community center.
Right, that's a community center
Yeah,
rental
that's
agreement.
a different deal. Okay, so I need a motion for this. Motion by Michael. Second by, Leroy. I'll get it. I'll get it. Give me time. All in favor? Opposed? Next item, request approval to apply for the TAP grant for pedestrian bicycles and sidewalks in Ward 4.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I know, Mr. Johnson is absent tonight. He want to take an opportunity to apply for the Transportation Initiative Program to go ahead and connect his sidewalks to the his park in Ward 4, starting from the intersection of 400 and running from the intersection of 400 and back Murray Lane, which connects straight to the park.
Is that matching with that?
5%.
5%,
5%?
yes,
What's the linear foot on that?
yeah.
You got the footage of that sidewalk?
So I know there are two other projects, one in Ward 7 and one in Ward 1, that we're looking to apply for the same program. So Leonard, maybe you can give a little bit on this. You want a phone
And
call
Ward 6.
with TAP? Well, Ward 6 is on the agenda, but 1 and 4, I'm sorry, 1 and 7 were not on the agenda. And during that phone call, they gave us the value of the projects that they're looking for applying. So I mean, we can do preliminary approval, but until we know what the estimate is and know what we have to match, I don't see how we can approve going for the grant. I mean, we still have,
Well, that's why I think if we go to the next number 8 and 9, I think we put something in there to request approval for the parish engineer to obtain linear footage and cost estimate for all applications submitted under the TAP grant.
Leonard,
So-
didn't you tell me the max was 1.5 million?
No, that's not the match. That's
Not the
that's the
max.
maximum.
Max, max. You said the max was 1.5 million, so 5% of that is 75,000.
they said any project that exceeded 1.5 million would be funded in phases.
Okay, so it's not.
So
again, you
they,
can't say
they
that
were
the
looking for
no-brainer.
projects in the range of 500,000 with a minimum of 50,000.
Okay.
So I guess I would like us to consider tabling 6 and 7 until we get the estimates to know if we're going to apply for this as one project for all 4 streets or 4 separate projects.
But just some communications, I've been able to communicate, and I was given a recommendation that instead of putting it all into one pot, go ahead and apply for them individually and separately. So you might get kicked out of the whole thing by putting it all in one pot, but if 1, 2, or maybe 3 or all of them could get funded, you have the better shot like that.
I don't disagree with that, but until we know the estimate.
Yeah, we got to know what it costs.
Right, well, that's why we got it on the, I mean,
Right.
it's on the agenda.
I think we need to have the cost by the next meeting. I would say table 6 and 7. And let's get on number 8, it covers the
It
cost.
covers it.
I would also check, I want to say that the engineering counts for your match. Checking that, just to be sure.
It is correct with the 5%.
5% that you would pay toward the engineering costs to get the plans put together and all applies as your match. Because it still requires, if you get selected, you have to do the engineering to get it out to public bid. And that particular part does count towards the 5% match. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, you're correct.
So it wouldn't be a separate pot of money on top of whatever was needed.
So I'll say let's table 6 and 7. And on number 8, Mr. Irvin.
Okay, so number 8 is request approval for the parish engineer to obtain the footage and cost estimate for all applications submitted under the TAP grant.
And for all
would
meeting, the other 2
include all of them.
projects, underneath 1 and 7.
1 and 7, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
1 and 7
Go out
also.
for RFQ on that,
For what
Or-
portion?
or the engineering.
Well, we requested the parish engineer to obtain any footage and cost estimates.
You're not approving a contract to design the thing, you're only requesting.
You just gonna get the footage.
It's due March 30th, so we got.
Somewhere.
So coupled with that, we need to approve, we need a letter, a resolution from the jury for each project. And they sent me the form that the resolution has to be in. That'll be on next agenda. I have one for each
Typically,
project.
we have to put our match support.
Gotcha, gotcha.
All right, so I need a motion to approve the parish engineer to obtain this footage.
So move.
Moved
You
by
gotta also obtain the
Ron,
footage on 6 and 7.
Yes.
second by Leroy.
When the deadline is?
March 30th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. One opposed. Number 9, request approval to apply for the raised grant for the following bridges: Bob Buck Road, Orsteel Road, Ruta Cajun, vertical lift bridge for Pierpont Bar, and authorize parish engineer to obtain cost estimates.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I put this on the agenda. Here's another opportunity with the raised grant. The raised grants definitely specifies about transportation infrastructure throughout the country. And I think this would be a great opportunity for us to go ahead and try to apply for this grant to try to get these 3 bridges fixed instead of having to go into our half-cent sales tax road fund if we was pushed that way. So, and also authorize the parish engineer to go ahead and obtain quotes with that. So I got a motion on the
What's the
floor.
deadline on this? Deadline.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I think it's.
I'm not
I think it's the
sure.
end of April. It's 1 month
the
after. that.
raise.
That one's on February 28th.
We just heard about it like 2 weeks ago.
Is there a
2 or 3
match?
weeks. The match,
5%.
Is
There's
there a
no
match,
match.
5%?
5%.
No match?
No match
You
on
in- on a
raise.
raise? No, only if you're in distressed areas.
Right, and we're in a distressed area.
Okay, well, there you go. There you
No
go.
match.
You may not have no match on it. So
The
we can
only
go ahead
other
and get up.
question was, are these bridges in like under constraints to get it done fast? Because y'all know grants take a while.
The Bayou Buck Bridge is,
Yes, all,
it's
Yeah.
closed.
we have a 2-year window to have all those bridges repaired.
Right.
That's kind of long.
So I think we can exclude the Coon Road.
No, don't do that.
Coon
No,
Road.
no. Don't exclude it.
Hold
That's all.
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we'll let 'em know.
Did you get the email?
I saw the email,
So,
but why
yeah.
wait, why take a 3 to 5 year chance? And then it could be longer before they fund you that money if you can get it done and get it and.
Yeah, but
don't-
this
I mean,
funding would only be to repair that bridge. The Office of Bridge Program is telling us in the next 3 to 5 years, they're gonna fund the whole replacement of the whole bridge. A $1.2 million project. They're gonna replace the whole bridge.
But I don't think this grant is just under just repairs. I mean, maybe the language might be different, should be worded different, but it can be replaced. I don't think we should not try to go after it if we can, instead of waiting and we don't.
Well, let's leave it in for now.
Leave it in.
Probably gonna get some
Yeah.
clarification from DOTD.
Correct.
Yeah.
By the
Before
time
we
they-
submit this.
And let's check,
That's
let's
the
bridge.
The bridges, we already started working with Paul and have estimates on the repairs as well as the replacements. So we just needed authorization so we know what we're going after, and then we can make the appropriate adjustments. I can have those estimates to him by the end of the week.
Did you have the Bayou Buff Road Bridge estimate complete?
Yes,
Or they're waiting on it.
yes, I know.
Mr. Chair, I just don't want to pass up an opportunity if it's there for us to give. That's all
I
I'm
don't want
saying.
to pass it up.
I don't wanna pass it
I don't
up,
wanna
bro.
pass up any grant.
I
But as far as the parish engineer meeting his deadlines, I mean, I have my doubts.
Well, he gotta meet the deadline.
Don't they have them?
This isn't for design, it is only estimates, and I've been working with the public works director to get.
The minimum is $1 million. The minimum, I think, to
That's
apply
the
for the,
minimum?
that's the minimum, is $1 million.
All right, okay.
Everybody said they just don't tell you.
You got a motion, Ron?
I got a motion on the floor, sir.
Motion by Ron,
Second.
second by Leroy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
One eye. Next item, request approval of 5% match for the raised grant and TAP grant applications to be allocated from 0.5% road fund.
I think you could table this, Mr. Chair, because he just said we're in a distressed area which qualifies us for no match for the raised grant. So we can table
What
that.
about the top?
We don't have
Well, we don't-
estimates to
we
make.
don't-
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, we need it for the tap. Motion.
No, 10 is all tabled. We need the
We need
estimates to
cost
know
estimates
what
to
the
approve the
5%
All
would
right, just table it. Table it.
Okay, number 11, update on Lee Drive project.
There's no further update. As stated previously, this project is receiving bids on February 28th. As it stands right now, I have been contacted directly by 3 asphalt contractors showing interest in the project.
Did they pick up the plans?
That's done electronically online. So it is on the public website and they were directed to that site. I know for a fact one of them did because the questions he was asking, he had to have the specifications in front of him to ask. So I would assume that he had to download the plan.
Okay, update on Lee Drive project. No, I'm sorry, ring levies.
I have the completed set of plans stamped preliminary here. I have made adjustments per Mr. Pondville's request. These set of plans were completed preliminarily prior to the end of the year. I am requesting that the jury please appoint some type of committee, either made up of yourselves or the Public Works Director, somebody to make review and final approval of these plans before they're issued for final permitting and bidding.
It's all federal money projects. That's true to federal guidelines.
Yes, yes, I mean, the specifications and everything have to meet, depending on how you're funding this project, whether if it's through Go Mesa, it has to meet the federal guidelines. So the specifications have to be in accordance with that, and the current ones are.
It is going to miss the funds.
It's however you all want to have it identified. You have it you have identified it as multiple projects and times in here, so that it makes no difference how you fund it. From my standpoint, all of it, though, all of the funding we're discussing is federal funds, so it will have these specifications, will have to meet the federal guidelines. My office has included the required documents to do that.
For the rest of the Joe's. It's all the same thing.
This is the entire upper Pearport area. And that's why I'm requesting the jury as a whole take a look at it, because there were multiple projects brought up under the Go Mesa. Under the Go Mesa list. And I just want to make sure that we're not overlapping on funds and with reference to grants and how things are listed. An example, you have right now, there is a Derrick Street pump relocation, Gerald Crochet pump relocation, Lee Drive pump relocation, Rupert pump relocation, Gerald Street levy. There's several in here that were all identified, some of which are addressed in these plans. So I'm just asking that the jury get together as a whole and review them to make sure that they are not overlapping from funds.
How is 71's on there? Bell River?
No.
No, they don't go all the way to Bell River. This is just the upper Pearport.
What happened to 11 over in subdivision? In front of the state highway. We got the pump.
That's listed, that is listed in the list of projects I have, but it's not in this. Again, that's why I'm asking you all to review this set of plans as a whole, so that if there are things that you all want to include in this set of plans, that it's presented to us so that we can include it properly.
This is the same set that you showed me, Ron?
It's been updated with since the changes that you requested.
But what I don't understand though, you got all these levies, Ward 7,
Ward 8, where's the one for Ward 9? Why that's not being permitted? I got a
Again.
pump and a levee.
Could we see him, Joseph?
Sure.
I got a pump and stop, wait for levee to be.
Well, and that's why I'm requesting this of the jury. There were also some Go Mesa funds that were allocated for the purchase of 7 pumps, some in your area, some in Mr. Irvin's area and so forth. We need clarification to know that we're not overlapping the purchase of those pumps with what is to be included in these plans, as well as other additional projects listed.
So
Saying
you
seven,
said,
eight, nine?
This is 7, 8, 9.
Yes,
Well,
7, 8,
this
9.
is
I just Ward 8.
majority 7, 8. There is one that touches on the 9, but this is upper Pierpont area. This does not have the 1016 permits like you look.
You saying those overrides.
I'm not saying it overrides anything. This was the project in scope that I was given by Mr. Pondville. So I am requesting that the jury as a whole clarify the scope, because that scope has now been expanded. The original scope of this project was strictly for ring levee pumps to be installed, majority on the east side of 70, going into and reaching the upper areas of Pierpont. Again, now, according to the revisions that were requested by Mr. Pondville, there are some of these levees are tying into existing levees, going through backyards, right of ways will have to be obtained. Have no issue with any of it. We'll make the necessary changes. I just wanted clarification from the jury of the scope that you all wish to put out.
Scope that was approved by the jury.
The original scope that was approved by the jury was for a ring levee system to be predominantly on the east side of 70 going into Pierpont. These plans are in accordance with that, but there are.
So how did you get ring levies in back of Gerald? Let's see, Gerald Bushy. How did you obtain that information? Where did you obtain that?
You came in my office and marked up the plans, Mr. Pondville.
No, sir.
Oh, you
That was
absolutely.
elevation.
You can
I'm
study
not gonna
these
get-
and then get back with her.
Exactly.
This is the
That's
same
why I'm
thing.
asking.
This is the same plans that I went on January, the 6th of January and look at. Same
Mr.
exact.
Pondville, you just stated you didn't come to my office and mark up the plans.
I went on the 6th of January.
I'm not gonna get into a match with Mr.
After
Pondville.
me
I am
and,
requesting,
Mr.
I am
Hold,
requesting that the
hold.
jury, I'm requesting that the
Mr. Chair.
jury as a whole provide me with clarification
Sauer.
and review of these plans.
Mr. Chair, can I have the floor?
Go ahead.
Look, we got a lot going on, guys. And it look like we got a lot of confusion currently that exists with all this communication and all these expectations regarding projects and scopes of works. We all at one point in time probably reach out to the parish engineer and ask him to look at something that we're trying to make a positive impact in our community pertaining to any project. I think we need to start prioritizing some things on how we present our projects, and I think there should be a queue and a prioritization on projects and when they need to move, when they need to go out. So, you know, I like to make a motion moving forward, man, that all projects, you know, that all work directed to any engineer consultant, whoever we use under a contract, you know, should be either approved by the full jury, bring it to the full jury, let it be a department head, and no work should be requested or performed by any individual jury going forward. Because that's where this communication is getting mixed up. You know, we got about 3 or 4 projects that needs to go out to bid under Go Mesa. Kim just said we got a year and a half left. So I'm more than sure those projects needs to go out. You know, you got ring leverage, you got wait, let me finish. It's been many times, we always say, hey, Joseph, take a look at this. We need to bring it to the full jury. We need to approve it. He needs to go ahead and come back and give us a preliminary time on when he can get to the project or estimate or what have you. because I think it's causing a lot of issues. We all got things going on. He's trying to appease 9 jurors at one time, and it's not happening. It's not happening. That's why we got that's why we got the frustration going
Yeah, 'cause I
on. So
got-
we got to stop this
I got-
right now. It's going too far.
I got a pump in the warehouse and I can't get put on the property because.
So on the 6th of January, I went to his office. And
I got a
he had his
motion on the
exact
floor,
plan,
Mr. Chair.
and I told him it was incorrect, and he still brought the same plans. to me.
First of all, these are not the exact plans. In fact, for the next meeting, for your own satisfaction, I will bring the set of plans that I had that Mr. Ponville marked up
Okay.
with his marks on them.
Bring him,
Chair.
that's what we need.
The motion on the floor is for all these projects to come before the full
You're a
jury
liar.
for approval. Right,
Yes, sir.
that's what you want?
Yes, sir.
Well, that makes
want-
sense.
And no work,
You can't-
no work requested by any
Ron has a
juror.
motion.
I got a
the
motion on the
floor.
floor. We just gotta stop.
Second that motion, Mr. Earl.
Okay, second by James. So you won't go over that no more.
He could go. He could go. He's dealing with his
He's welcome
project.
to come to my office. He's received several emails inviting him to my office to look at these
I
plans.
tried to get in touch with him 3 times since the last meeting. He's yet to return a phone call.
You're contacting me directly by my personal cell phone, and you are not,
Mr. Como,
I
have
do not
something to-
work for you as an individual. My
Okay,
contract is.
You always
let's
never
get this
before.
straightened out right now.
So, we were sent, before the last meeting, a spreadsheet from Mr. Savoy for all the projects that were in his office.
Mhm.
I asked him to give us a document that would have the scope of work for each of these projects so that we all would have an update of what's going on with all of it. Until we get that, we can't update the Go Mesa list. That project, I know you and Mr. Blankenship were supposed to meet. You know, each had to cancel for various reasons. That meeting is very important for us moving forward on all of these Go Mesa projects.
I did speak with Mr. Blankenship this evening. We are trying to get back together again tomorrow. To get these items as well as some issues with your courthouse addressed immediately.
When
And
did you
Joe,
request this?
you know, I don't know if you overloaded or what, but you are laxing in getting a lot of things done. Like my walking trail lights has been on board for almost a year now, nothing. Are you overloaded with work? or-
No, sir. No, sir. Your walking trail lights were awarded to another engineer previously and then that
It
contract
was
was
awarded
canceled.
because it was 6 months before that you didn't do nothing.
I have a preliminary set in my office and I will have it delivered to your home.
Okay,
But see, Mr. Como,
All right,
something
the-
like, excuse me, sir, something like that, because I remember you made the motion to go out for professional
Right.
service engineers. And I don't know what happened or what a ball might have dropped. And then you had, you had a communication with Mr. Savoy and wanted him to pick up the ball and run with it. Things like that, we should bring back to the jury and bring back to the jury and get the full jury to go ahead and approve it.
Mr. Como has.
I
Yes,
did.
He
Okay.
brought it to the jury.
Yeah.
He brought it to the jury. That's not.
Okay, the motion on the floor is for all projects to be approved by the full jury.
Projects are.
That's fine.
Well, no additions. You can't, I got a road and walk 2 I want to add.
No,
I just can't.
No,
Yeah.
but
No,
Everything goes through the jury.
everything.
Do we have the permit for these ring levies yet?
That's what,
So a second, who
We
is
spend so
second?
much time on these ring levies, we don't have permits, so even if you had everything ready, you couldn't do the work because there's no permit.
there's no permit, that's our problem, our permit, getting our permit. I got
I
pumps
spoke to
inside the
Mr.
warehouse.
Savoy years ago about starting the permit process on these ring levies. It's been
I need
going
a
on for
second
3
on this
years.
motion.
I told you, I second. I got you.
All right,
Second.
Jamie, second the motion. All in favor of this motion? Opposed? Okay, the motion passed. All right, next item, request approved to apply for the raised grant
Let's table that for this meeting.
for the purchase and improvement of Shell Beach Road boat launch.
Let's table for this meeting.
You gonna table it?
Table it? Okay. Request update on CPRA 2023 draft master plan.
So this isn't so much of a request of an update. I added this, floodplain manager and I attended a meeting at Terrebonne Parish with the parish leaders from Lafourche and Terrebonne with CPRA. They reviewed the draft master plan with us. And just want to let everybody know there's only one project in there. Actually, there's 2 projects that affect Assumption Parish. first one is the Amelia levee improvements, which includes the bayou buff structure that we've been all talking about. That was in our drainage master plan. And the second project is the diversion of the Chafalaya River water through the intercoastal to the Terrebonne Marsh. It passes through Assumption Parish. That's why that one's still in there. Really and truly, so they had the diversion project in the first window and the Amelia levees in the second window. They did say that they expect those to be flipped, but in the printed in the master plan, it's going to be printed the way that it is. They said that they don't have the time to do the engineering now to flip those projects, but they are aware that we apply for capital outlay funding to get the engineering started on that project. And CPRA is pushing that through in the capital outlay side, and they will assist us in getting the right project in the order that it needs to be. But other than that, they gave a bunch of updates on restoration projects. So Terrebonne Parish and Lafourche Parish were largely satisfied at this time for their hurricane protection. Now they want to move to the restoration phase. And we made the point to them that we're still in the hurricane protection phase, and they understood that that is important to us to get that done before the restoration efforts. But that's basically it. That report's going to be the draft. The master plan is going to be released, I believe, in March. That's it, just information.
Thank you, Leroy. Next item is approve RFQ for Go Mesa levee improvement project.
So I did not have in time for the meeting the scope of work of the projects, but we do have the RFQ. And I would just like to approve it tonight so that we go off RFQ. This would be the ring levee system plus Ward 7, 8, 9. And it's so it's the levee improvements in Wards 4, 7, 8, and 9. So I guess it's up to this jury if we want to. I would say that we're okay going out for RFQ to identify the engineering company that's going to be helping us with it. Once we get that RFQ done, then we can have that scope of work ready to go from Go Mesa. But we need to go out for RFQ in order to be able to pay for it from Go Mesa.
Motion. Okay, motion by Jamie, second by Mike, all in favor? Opposed. Motion to adjourn by Jeff, second by Michael, all in favor? Opposed.
Call our regular meeting. Now let the record reflect all members are present except Mr. Johnson. A prayer God who teaches us by sending the light of the Holy Spirit into our hearts, grant that by the light of that Spirit, right judgment may be ours, and that we may ever find joy in his guidance. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item, approval of minutes of January 11th, 2023.
I got one correction on there. So on item number 16 in the engineering, it states that that I wasn't available for the reviewing of these prints from Mr. Saban. I did review them on the 6th of January, and that's when I noticed that it was incorrect.
Motion to approve with noted correction.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nakane. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public's comment period. We will accept public comment on any item on the agenda. First call, second call, last call. Item 4, Drainage Committee report.
Yes, sir. The Drainage Committee meeting was held this afternoon at 4:25. All members were present. We tabled item number 1. Item number 2, we approved the culvert replacement next to St. Elizabeth Church. We approved an outfall at the end of VI Street. We approved the levee repair leak on Hughes Street. We approved the catch basin installation at, let's see, no, that was tabled, I'm sorry, number 5 was tabled. Number 6, we approved the catch basin installation at the corner of Berta and Wade Street. And we discussed the drainage pump purchase with the hazard mitigation funds, and Mr. Brian Blankenship is going to go out and get cost estimates to repair some of these pumps. Is in that form of motion.
A motion by Mr. Pineville,
Second.
second by Mr. Mathern, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Finance Committee report, Finance Committee met at 4:35. First item, we approved to pay the bill submitted through February 3rd. We approved the accountant to work overtime, work over allowed K time limit to get prepared for the 2022 audit, and we authorized payment for that extra time. Item 3, we approved the purchase of 2 pumps in Ward 3 in the amount of $47,312 for using Gomesa non-bond funds. We approved the purchase of a cab dozer in the amount of $131,891.50 out of non-bond Gomesa funds. We approved the purchase of an excavator in the amount of $104,086.12 out of non-bond Gomesa funds. And we tabled,
No, we removed.
oh, I'm sorry. On item D, we removed the waterway debris removal project. The 550,000 allocation that was there for that project has been removed from the allocations list. Authorize the president to sign a purchase agreement with Arsenal Equipment Corporation for the purchase of land adjacent to Monterey Park. We approved for the OSEP director to attend the APCO NENA 911 conference in Marksville, April 17th to 19th, 23 at a cost of $800. We approved for 3 OSEP representatives to attend the Louisiana Emergency Management Conference in Lake Charles, May 8th through 11th, 23 at a cost of $800 per person. We approved to accept the highest salvage bid for old usable vehicles and equipment. Those 2 salvage items at a value of $927.27 and $2277.77. And item number 8 was no action.
Motion to accept the report.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn. Second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Personnel Committee report.
Personnel Committee met at 5:03. All members were present. One item was tabled. I'll present that in the form of a
Got a
motion.
motion by Mr. Diaz,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Road and Bridge Committee report.
The Road Bridge Committee met this afternoon. All members were present, except for Mr. Johnson. An item on the report, and it was tabled. Give you that item in the form, give you that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Alcorn,
Second.
second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Item 9, Solid Waste Committee report.
Yes, Solid Waste Committee met, all members are present. On item, second 2 items, first item, discuss annual CPI rate adjustment waste depot that was approved for 13 cents per household. We, item number 2, discuss fuel charge adjustment. We'll let Ms. Torres, Secretary Treasurer, look into that. So the national average is, so forth. Formal motions approved.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Engineering Grants Committee report.
Yes, the Engineering Grant Committee met this afternoon. All members were present. We was given an update from the grants coordinator on grants. We was given an update on drainage master plan and flood mitigation project by GIS Engineering. We approved the resolution approving and authorizing the president to sign RFPs for the authorized signature form for the Community Water Enrichment Fund and the Local Government Assistance Program, and authorize and approve Kim Torres to certify the signatures. We approved to authorize the police jury president to sign the 21-22 gap contract for the courthouse renovation project in the amount of $100,000. We approved the CEA with the Department of Children and Family Services and the rental rate agreement relative to the special needs shelter at something Parish Community Center. Number 6 and 7 was tabled. Number 8, we approved the parish engineer to obtain linear footage and cost estimate for all applications submitted under the TAP grant. We approved to apply for the raised grant for the following bridges: Bayou Buff Road, Oldsteel Road, Rue de Cajun, vertical lift bridge for Pierpont Bayou, and authorize the parish engineer to obtain cost estimates. Number 10 was tabled. Number 11, we was given an update on Lee Drive project. We was given an update on the ring levies in the upper Pierpont area. Number 13,
With 13, I'd like to put it back on the agenda. So I might be getting some money to do some improvements if there's no match to it.
so what we got there now? We tabled it during the meeting. The committee.
Right, I'd like to put it back on the agenda.
Next
Or
meeting.
Might be getting some money for
Next
improvement.
agenda? On the following meeting, the next meeting. we're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. What you talking about?
Since they ain't got no match for it, maybe get some. funds.
Okay, so it's still table. We were given an update on CPRA 2023 draft master plan. We approved the RFQs for Gomez levy improvement projects. And we also approved that all projects be approved by the full jury instead of individually going to the parish engineer. All in the form of a motion.
Motion by Mr. Como,
Second.
second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve the COA agreement between DOTD and Assumption Parish Police Jury for the purpose of providing financial assistance for public transportation in non-urbanized areas of the parish.
This is the Council on Aging Capital Assistance Program. I do recommend approval.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request a reduction in rental rate for the AHS FFA rodeo in April.
Yes, we received an application from Assumption High School FFA, who is conducting a rodeo with some other entities. And I think to pay for their kids to travel to some other facilities. Anyway, they are requesting 50% off the rate.
How much is the rate?
I think they're going to be renting the Grand Arena. It depends how many days. She doesn't have on here stated how many days it's going to be.
What's the cost per day?
The single weekend is $300 for the grand per day and $250 for the petite and $200 for the concession stand. So I know she's going to have it the Friday, the Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if they want to get on in there on the Friday
The
or not.
request come on Assumption Parish School Board letterhead.
No,
Who's requesting?
she just communicated with us verbally and via email. Sadie Phelps, the same one that came here last year.
She's the one with the.
She's with FFA.
Yeah.
For the school.
Let's just put it, yeah.
Remember
Yeah,
they made
school board employee.
$26,000 in the rodeo and she was complaining because she had to pay.
Do we ever, not to really get off the subject, do we ever plan to take a look at both of those contracts from what residents are paying at the community center to what's being paid over at that rodeo? Why is it so much as a lapse?
Oh, a totally different type of
Yeah, the
facility.
arena's wide open.
Is wide open and dirt facility versus. you
Air
know,
conditioning.
totally different. But.
$26,000? That's a lot of money in 2 days.
But,
Go back to the
It's
kids.
a lot of money. Oh, I want, no, I ain't gonna knock the children. We ain't gonna
Well,
knock- I'm just
the
saying.
funds 50% cost, I mean, that facility don't have near the expenses the community center naturally.
Well, this is your
When
contract.
you, when
Huh?
You-
I know
Again,
what
it's in
Ron's
your
talking about.
contract.
Ron is
If
talking
we're gonna
about-
keep, if we're gonna issue everybody a break, then we need to take it out of the
Yeah,
contract.
and then you're looking at charging for events at the community center, you paying $5,000 rent. You have a charge event over there, you can get it for $600, $300 a day. Doesn't make sense.
Plus, right? It could be $750 a day if they use the other two.
Yeah, it's $300 a day just for the large arena. So that's gonna be $600 for 2 days. Let's just say Saturday and Sunday, $600. The Petite Arena is gonna be another $500. So that's $1,100. Concession stand is $200 a day. So that's $400. It's $1,500 just for 2 days.
So this is the same type of rodeo they did last year.
What we did last year. Just remind, I don't wanna know what we did last year.
Because the whole contract got changed last year because of a lot of these situations, and that's when y'all incorporated the 50% off. I mean, the increased fee for, y'all incorporated the 50% for nonprofits. So now everybody's trying to tie their event to a school or a nonprofit to get the 50% off. That's what's happening.
And what about parish workers? We have parish workers that gotta work it?
Well,
Generally upon request, we actually grade the interior of the facility.
In-
and whatnot,
in-
and it's actually
in
charged
prep
back.
for it, but she's already said, I'm not paying y'all for any
She's
work.
not gonna pay it.
It's like, okay, well then you have to provide your own tractor then. You're not gonna have an
Yeah,
individual
everybody
use
using
our.
our track. They have.
So the profits from this rodeo goes to FFA.
Yes.
Would you say?
She says that 100% of the profits goes to FFA, but however, the certificate of insurance is coming from an outside company that comes in and puts on the rodeo.
They got, pretty sure they make a percent too.
That's what I asked, but she says, oh, no.
They're not doing it
They're
for
not
nothing.
insuring it for nothing.
So,
I agree. That's why if it would be my call would be, you don't qualify because there's some other
Get her
entity
own
that's
insurance.
private making money off of this event. But I knew if I said that, then it would be brought back to you anyway. So here we are for you all to make that
I mean,
determination.
that's just like when Jamie used it. Jamie used the school insurance because it was his baseball team. So why the FFA can use the
Their
school,
insurance, correct.
the school insurance?
With that company you talking about, outside the rodeo people comes in, they don't make nothing off of it.
Yeah, they do.
Well, this is what they make. They're the ones supply like.
Cajun Rodeo Association is the name of the company
Yeah.
that submitted the insurance. And we asked more than once, how are the proceeds divvied? Because when y'all made that determination a few weeks ago, it was about whether 100% of the
Was
proceeds
going
were
to the
going to the
baseball.
school. And she said 100% are going to the school.
I think the other deal with the outsider is they have to pay them, like, if they have these bucking horses.
They probably had to bring the horses.
You gotta pay them something.
They what?
They have to pay them something.
I think that's
Yeah.
part of the cost of
Yeah.
putting the event on, but the
Yeah.
profits still remain with
With the
FFA.
school,
Yeah.
Yeah, profit after everybody's fee.
Same thing. Same thing.
I mean, you know,
But you gotta pay this company, or you won't have.
I
the-
can't
you
imagine
won't
they
have
doing it
the
for free.
animals to
That's
do
right.
the rodeo.
They still had to pay the band.
Yeah.
So what you saying, you don't know what the company
I
charges.
just think we ought to take all this non-profit organization stuff out because everybody will try to find a loophole to get a cheaper rent. That's with both facilities. Bottom line.
that's what's happening.
I don't have a problem with this one because it benefits the students at the high school and FFA. I mean, it's no different than what we just did a couple meetings ago for the baseball team because it benefits the kids at the Assumption. I don't have a problem with it.
So why the insurance not coming through the schools?
Cause it's probably different. Cause of
It ain't- it ain't the school.
Because it's not a school
That's
event.
what I'm saying, Leroy. You know, we all in favor of helping each and every.
All right, so this one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the 50%.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Nakam, second by Mr. Diaz. All in favor?
All right,
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval to appoint member to Bayou Foods Freshwater District.
I put this on the application from one gentleman because of one of our other ones resigned. Mr. Ernie Blanchard. He came highly recommended.
replacing
Make
Scott
a
LeBlanc,
motion, yeah, Scott LeBlanc was on.
Very involved.
lives on the bayou.
Yeah, I make a motion that we, give it a send a resolution to the governor's office.
Requesting
From
the
here? Okay.
appointment.
Ernie Blanchard.
I'll second your motion. Oh, you got.
Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve a light at 2631 Highway 1 Laverdale, Ward 2.
Yeah, it's part of the Consolidated Lighting District, and that's also including engineering, so.
Can I add one to that? No, I got one that It's the corner of Ryder and 1010.
If it's in the light district. sure.
Yeah, it's in the lighting district.
Ryder and 1010.
Ryder and 1010.
Yes.
Well, let's do a motion for the first one and we'll have to deviate for the second one.
All right, motion for the first one.
Motion for 2631 Highway 1.
Well, we don't have to deviate. We
No,
won't
because you
deviate. I
already
can
talked
bring
about it.
I'll bring it back up to the next meeting. But I just figured that since we were putting the lighting,
Yeah, it's in the light.
yeah, so you can call, you just call.
Approve a light at 2631 Highway 1 Loudville and intersection of Ryder Lane and Highway 1010. That's my motion.
Motion by Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Como. All in favor?
All right,
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 15, approve revision to the 2023 list of committees. Anybody have any changes?
second.
Motion by Mr. Mathern, second by Mr. Nakam. All in favor?
All right.
What's the change?
Well, when I sent it out to everyone, I was just letting them know what committees.
So just those?
Johnson,
presented.
yeah, so if anyone else wanted to make any revisions,
Okay,
we
so
can
as
adjourn at
presented,
this
gotcha.
time.
Okay.
Approval to adopt ordinance 2304 to levy grass cutting charges totaling 1417.
So move.
Moving Mr. Nakam,
Second.
second by Mr. Como. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve an occupational license for Clarity Power Washing LLC Belrose, RBM Electrical LLC Pierreport. Motion by Mr. Mathern,
Second.
second by Mr. Pineville. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request approval for the following liquor license applications. Kim Alvarado, 6051 Commerce Street, Plainville, Louisiana, 70391, doing business to St. Elizabeth, Ward 6, and St. Jude's Catholic Church, 7165 Highway 1, Belrose, LA 70341, doing business with Alamorze Food Festival, Ward 7. Motion by Mr. Diaz, second by Mr. Alcorn. All in favor? Opposed? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
One announcement. One announcement. Okay. We have a autograph parade, cruise in and do, riding at 1 o'clock in Libreville on Saturday.
All right.
It's gonna be a beautiful day.
It'll be cold now.
And it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a beautiful day. So y'all try to make it.
So we have a motion by Mr. Como, second by Mr. Alcorn to adjourn. All in favor?
Kim, the appraiser will be there tomorrow.
Good, that's fine. She told me it was taking them a while, but they got in touch. I thought we-
Everything was.